Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Happy
Penultimate day.
Yeah.
Oh, is it a happy penultimate day?
I'm not feeling happy at the thought of it being over.
It's sad, isn't it? It's going to be, the Olympics will be over
Yeah.
this time tomorrow, won't it? The closing ceremony should be pretty much wrapping up.
Yeah, struggling to remember what my life was before the Olympics. It feels like ancient history that I was doing anything other than streaming every day. So.
And even the week before the Olympics, I was reading the guides, I was checking the schedules, I was like getting myself ready, trying to get all my work done.
Well, yeah, you were editing a trackcasting preview. I was trying to edit a YouTube video.
It just felt everything was gearing up to this big thing, and now it's like come and gone, and it's like it's sad. I mean, it's been enjoyable. It's one of those things where it's gone quick, but it also feels like I don't remember my life before the Olympics.
Yeah, but I mean, let's remember, it's only 3 years until Paris, but also it's only about 6 months till the Winter Olympics.
That's a good point.
So we don't need to get too sad. And also the Paralympics, let's not forget the Paralympics, which will be...
there's still a lot. And then even next summer, in terms of sport, is ridiculous anyway, with the Commonwealth, Europeans, Worlds, all happening in pretty much all the sports. So... And then and the Football World Cup as well. Even that's next Christmas.
Next Christmas, yeah.
Which is weird.
Football's coming home for Christmas.
Yes.
It's driving home for Christmas. Can't wait to see those faces.
Yeah, that's going to be a hashtag in about over a year's time.
But shall we have a look at the action from today?
Yes, let's do it.
We'd love to hear what your thoughts are in the chat. Is there any highlights from any sport that you want to mention, or any questions that you want to put to us? We'd love to hear them.
Yeah, any hashtag made up marathon facts?
Yeah, they were. I mean, I'm amazed how big that hashtag has grown.
I know, it's ridiculous.
So many sort of people. It was people who followed people I knew, but also I was like, I do not recognise this name at all.
Yeah, I was the same. I didn't. Yeah, there's a lot of people I didn't even know.
But let's have a look back. So where do you want to begin?
Should we start with the marathon then, since it was like technically yesterday?
Yeah.
Women's marathon. This is obviously started an hour earlier than it was meant to.
Which, completely understandable from athletes' safety point of view, but I think it's terrible planning that they didn't properly give the competitors a decent amount of prior warning. I think they changed the time while they were still asleep, which would really mess up their preparations with the time they were planning to eat and everything. Oh, thank you for the sub at Daniel F. London.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We have a subscriber. How exciting. Thank you. So the marathon was, to be fair, it kind of went to plan a little bit. I mean, the Kenyans were obviously the favourites. You had the world record holder, the world champion, and the world half marathon champion as their three individuals. And then, would you say that, I'd say that maybe the favourite was the one that didn't actually get on the podium. Where is she? Where did she actually finish? Did she finish? Oh yeah, no, she didn't finish, did she?
No,
she didn't.
She didn't.
Chepngetich was did a DNF there, but she was the world champion. I thought with the heat she was gonna be okay.
Because she'd set the world half marathon world record this year. We remember that beautiful commentary from Istanbul.
Yeah, and then also, but then I kind of wanted Kosgei to win, but in the end it was Chepchirchir who won it.
I think I wanted Chepchirchir to win for absolutely. Sorry, Dave.
Dave says, don't remind me of Ruth.
Dave missed out on.
How much money was it? $3,000? He said.
Yeah, I think it was an accumulator, if I'm not mistaken. But I was quite happy for Chepchirchir in the fact that at one point last year I was watching the World Half Marathon Championships with a friend, and I just remember that somebody fell over and Chepchirchir managed to sidestep it. And from that, he was just like, yes, Chepchirchir is amazing. And he's been constantly asking me, like, is Chepchirchir competing? What's she got to do? And so I was just texting him, like, she's in the top 2, she's looking good. And then just a gold medal emoji at the end of it.
Yeah, she did well.
Yeah, so I'm quite happy for that, for absolutely stupid reasons. But
and, Kosgei getting the silver, I mean, that's good that for the world record holder to get an Olympic medal. Because Paula never did that. And then Molly Sider was probably the big surprise, actually, to get on that podium ahead of a lot of bigger names and maybe more experienced runners at this level. Yeah,
she did very well. Of course, you would definitely know that if you'd watched coverage in any Western country. Yeah. As she got a lot of the airtime.
Yes. And then it was, I guess, the Belarusian European champion, famous for her nosebleeds, was in 5th. Who else was good? Sinead Diver getting 10th for Australia, former Irish athlete.
A bit disappointing for Ichiyama. I thought she would have had I think I had her as a potential bronze medalist.
I thought she was going to hang on for the group because there was a big group that was about 10 that were just slowly like trickling off, and I thought she hung in for a while, but not for as long as we thought. I had money on Johannes, obviously, bronze medalist from Doha, but she was 11th, just beating Fabian Schlumpf, who's stepped up from the steeplechase.
Great showing for Fenella McCormick of Ireland.
Yeah, 25th.
And she's not long come back. Was it from pregnancy?
Yeah.
Did Jamie say? So yeah.
Yeah,
finished 25th at the Olympics is amazing.
Yeah, really good in this field and in that conditions, and looking at some of the people she beat.
Yeah.
And it was really weird from a British point of view. Jess Piasecki tried to go with she was with the main pack for such a long time, whereas Steph Davis was kind of a minute behind, and Steph 12 was like pretty much near the back. But then, as it turned out, it all kind of changed. Yeah. Steph Davis picked her way through to the top 40, but then in the end, Piasecki had a really bad second half and ended up even getting caught and overtaken by Steph 12.
Not great showing for the Brits, really. I'm surprised. I didn't realise that Salpeter actually finished.
Yes, I only read this morning when someone tweeted me saying, because I said she'd quit, and it's like, don't say she quit, she didn't quit. I was like, well, I was asleep by the time she finished. Sorry. But yeah, because she was actually in third, fourth-ish, tied for third, wasn't she, with the American, when she kind of just suddenly stopped, and then kind of eventually got over the line.
Yeah. It was one of those. It was fun, of course. Fun to stay up to watch that. It wasn't too unreasonable of a time, but it was just late enough that it felt fun and like you were staying up for it.
Yeah, agreed. And tonight will be the same. Men's marathon tonight. It's the last bit of athletics we're kind of clinging on to at these Olympics.
And last I checked, they haven't rescheduled that. That will go off at 11 p.m. UK time, which is 7.
What? No.
No,
is it 7? No, yeah, it is.
Yeah, 7 in.
Yeah, because this was moved to 6, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that's right. Well, there you go.
Do we want to look at the rest of the athletics?
Yeah, let's go for it. What should we start with? Should we go for it in order?
Yeah,
high jump.
High jump, yeah, which the event that opened the session, I think the last one to be decided.
Because they didn't do what they did in the pole vault or what they did in Rio, and they actually did sensible increments of 93, 96, 98, 2, 202, 204. None of this skipping many heights. It was pretty safe.
Yeah, it was disappointing that Morgan Lake wasn't able to start. She had some sort of injury.
Yeah, real shame.
Which is really disappointing because she did 195 in qualifying.
Yeah, she could have definitely got 196, I think.
And she looked, I don't know, her demeanour looked different.
Yeah, she was happy. She looked relaxed. She was jumping very well.
Yeah. So I was sort of quite looking forward, of course, to what she could do, but not to be this time.
Yeah, I think a top 8 finish was definitely on the cards for her today.
But I mean, really interesting top 8. 3 Ukrainians, which perhaps isn't a surprise, but Uzbekistani athlete with 196 personal best.
Yeah, it looked at a moment like it was going to be Elena Patterson who was the Australian on the podium.
Yeah.
But and same with Heroshenko for Ukraine. Like they were the top 2 for a while. It was like, hang on a sec, you're not the Australian and Ukrainian we're expecting on the podium. But then eventually it kind of sorted itself out.
And it wasn't even looking great for Lasitskeni. She had 2 failures at 196.
Yeah,
and then,
clutch.
Yeah, but then I'm so glad to see that she got that Olympic gold that she wasn't able to compete for in 2016.
And with a respectable 204 as well.
Yeah,
it wasn't like it wasn't one on countback. She won it clearly because McDermott got the silver with that area record of 202. So good for her to get her PB. And Mahuchik clearing 2. I remember a little bit disappointed with that, but an Olympic medal and still over 2 meters. Yeah,
and it's particularly with McDermott and Mahuchik, they're quite young, aren't they? So,
yeah.
I mean, we could definitely be seeing them for 2 Olympics to come if they're able to maintain their form.
Yeah, definitely. The women's high jump's definitely in rude health with a lot of young people coming through. Because even Cunningham's not that old.
No,
I mean,
she's just sort of been about for a while, but
yeah, definitely very excited. And Levchenko obviously still young as well.
Yes, and I do feel sorry for Levchenko in that she's just sort of been overshadowed by Mahuchik very quickly.
But then equally hasn't been jumping as well as she was in 2017. So yeah, interesting. But it was a good final.
It was, yeah. I think that was one of my highlights of the day. Weirdly, we had the scheduling was bad. We've said this a lot, but the fact that we had a high jump and a javelin on at the same time as the women's 10,000 meters, so the events that need the track for their run ups.
Yeah.
Not great planning, but nonetheless.
Did not think that through, did they?
Nope.
So 10k kind of was at a reasonable pace, wasn't it? And then they kind of eventually it looked like it was down to 3 or 4 for a long time, didn't it? I guess it was Hassan and Guide we thought were going to be the 1-2 here, but good old what's her name, Gezahine? Is that how you say it, Gezahine?
My pronunciation of Ethiopian names moving to Bahrain is limited.
Yeah, as Dave has told me, because I was checking who she was again. I was like, you mentioned it on the podcast, but that was a long time ago that I did that. So I just kind of said, who's the random Bahrainian in the medals? And it was the World Indoor 1500 metre champion from 2010, who has had a resurgence in the last few years.
God knows.
Or last year.
It was a bit disappointing that Helena Beery couldn't quite hold on to the pace. I would have loved to see her get into the medals, but even then, it's a personal best for her.
I think that's the thing we forget, that she's always been historically more of a 15.5 to 3,000 runner, isn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I even said once that if the 3,000 was an Olympic event, she'd be a multiple Olympic champion.
Oh, yeah.
But, so nice to see her step up to the 10K, and she gave it a shot, and PB, and then national record for Nyan Saba in 5th. Great to see her in the top 5. I mean, to go from the 800 to the 5 and then 10K, and to be running those kind of times, amazing.
And then personal best for the Japanese athlete, Hironaka. Imagine what the noise would have been like in the stadium if it had been even half full. I'm sure they would have been absolutely cheering her around, but still a solid performance for her. I'd say for Elish Mccolgan, I think she was hoping to go a fair bit quicker.
Yeah, I think maybe
tonight.
Under 31. She wasn't too far off, maybe 5-10 seconds. I think she would. A top 8 finish and 30-50-ish would have probably been realistic given the conditions. But so she only lost out to Klosterhalfen and obviously Hassan as the Europeans, but she beat some big names in all the Americans and Jasmine Chan. So looking ahead to a European year next year,
It's an everything year next year.
Well, and everything year next year. Yeah, she's looking in good shape to maybe get some medals at Commonwealth, Europeans, whatever she wants to do.
Yeah. Take your pick. And then another, if you want to look at a Commonwealth level athlete, Neeraj Chopra of India getting India's first ever gold medal in athletics, which is mad to think for a country of 1-point-something billion that this is their first one. But it's their first athletics medals since Paris 1900.
Wow.
Where they won 2 silver medals in the 200 metres and 200 metre hurdles.
Wow.
I'd like to pretend I knew that before today.
Good research. No, it's good to see him win. I kind of tipped him to do well. I did in my act stat, I had Vetter, Chopra, and Walcott as my 3, but obviously only one of them got on the podium. But I had money on him at 22-1, which I thought was good odds. So well done, Neeraj, getting me some money. To be fair, on Track Classic, we called Chopra for the win, maybe even a year ago at the start of 2020. It was one of our outlandish predictions.
Yeah. Disappointing that Vetter couldn't even make the top 8.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he injured himself. Maybe it wasn't a full-on injury, but one of his rolls looked very painful.
Yeah.
Towards the end, then 2 checks on the podium, which I don't think we'd necessarily anticipated.
They've been around. Obviously, they've won championship medals before, both of them, and they've always been around on the Diamond League. But they're just solidly around, aren't they? They're not throwing massive. But then they didn't have to throw that far, 85 and 86 to get a medal at the Olympics, given what we've seen in the past few years. But then great shows that they're championship performers and the names we know. It's not like some randoms on the podium.
But I'm also sort of with Nadim in 5th. I really hope that at the Commonwealth Games next year, with them being held in Birmingham, which is, for those who don't know, a city that has a large sort of population of Asian descent, I really hope that they kind of are able to use those two to promote the games and sort of get a group that isn't necessarily massively attending sort of athletics events and actually get them a bit more engaged, because I think that would really make the Commonwealth Games have a new level and a new meaning in Birmingham next year.
No, I completely agree. I think obviously London Olympics, we had a lot of Jamaicans there supporting their sprinters in the stadium, which was always great. They always brought atmosphere, and they do all around the world. So if we can get the same with India, and obviously the distance runners at the end, when you see the Ethiopians and the Kenyans in the crowd with their flags and drums and everything, get that for the Asians and especially Chopra. He's gonna like you say, he's gonna be a very rich man in the next week. I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's India's first gold medal of these Olympics. I think their first gold medal since Beijing 2008. in
Wow.
the shooting. And then Indian athletes who do well at the Olympics can make huge amounts of money. The silver medalist from the badminton in 2016 launched her way into being one of the top 10 highest paid sportswomen in the world.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, it was a good. I was really happy to see him win. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted with that. A great turn up for the books, even though it was both a turn up and somehow anticipated. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I guess I knew what he's thrown this year already, and he's obviously. I've seen him at championships, at Asian Games, where he's won gold medals, and yeah, he's definitely becoming a championship performer, and he's still relatively young as well.
Yeah, how old is he?
How old is he?
He's 23. Oh, I don't
Yeah.
like that.
He's the same age as you.
He is, but he was born in 97, so it's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine. He feels older. Then we had a really great 1500 meter race with an Olympic record for Jakob Ingebrigtsen.
Rapid, breaking the Olympic record from the semi-finals,
Yeah.
which is insane.
And I believe is it all the top 4 ran faster than the previous. Oh no, even more than that. Previous Olympic record 3:31.65. So top 6.
Yeah, wow.
All faster than the previous Olympic record.
That's ridiculous.
Personal bests for everyone in 3rd to 6th, as well as Ross Smith in 8th, and just amazing.
So basically, what was great was that Jakob just took it on from the girl. They all kind of obviously, everyone just sets off, they go off casually, and then they're trying to get position. And Jakob was like, "No, I need to do this. I'm going to make this fast," which I think helped a lot of people in the race.
Yeah.
So he obviously took it out, and him and Chariot had a bit of a, it looked like it was going to be a bit of a battle, but you felt like Jakob has that kind of speed this year. Over the endurance, obviously, because he does a lot of 5Ks as well. So for him not to do the 5K here and to focus on the 15, this was a perfect tactic for him. He knew he could run a break 13, only 3:30. And then it was just a battle for who else would get the medals. And obviously we thought Stewie McSwain was going to be in the mix, and he was initially, and then he kind of tailed off. And it was like Josh Kerr just ran a very sensibly paced race for him, got the best out of him, and only 400s off silver. It was maybe he could have got silver.
Yeah, it was looking like, if the finish line were just a few meters further, then he may have been able to get that silver. But weirdly, in my head, the difference between gold and silver doesn't feel massive. It's the difference between silver and gold that's huge.
No, I agree. I don't. It's not. Yeah, it was just to get a medal, and I predicted my at start. I think I predicted Chariot maybe just to beat Ingebrigtsen, and I did actually have Josh Kerr as the bronze medalist, so I was very pleased that I called the 3 on the podium.
I think I had McSwain as my 3rd on my at stat, but I did weirdly a week ago place a bet on Josh Kerr, and then I was like, why did I do that? I'm so random, kind of thing. And then actually I was like, oh come on, get me some money.
No, yeah, I think Jake Whiteman, has always been a better kind of championship performer, but he's not in the same shape he was in last year. And I think for me it changed from Jake being that medalist to Josh being that medalist at trials when Josh just got him.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And then Josh he's proved his worth in championships in the past, especially in America. So really pleased for him. PB, the 2nd fastest British time ever, just behind the Mo Farah British record. So yeah, incredible. And I guess Jake Hayward beating Jake Whiteman was a little scalp for him. Jake obviously kind of went with it, didn't he? Going into the 3rd lap? Went a bit too soon. 600 to go. He kind of started.
It was like, he's making an exciting move, but it seemed to, he seemed to be spent very soon after that.
Yeah, that just kind of showed a little bit of his lack of fitness this year, because I think he mentally and tactically he was still in the right place of mind. But no, like you say, PBs for Kipsang, Michelle, and Hocker, and Rosmus as well in 8. So.
And thanks to that, Britain won medals in 3 of the 4 middle distance events.
Yeah.
Men's 15, women's 15, and women's 8.
Which because we've been banging on about how good we are at the middle distances, and we've backed it up with medals.
Yeah.
And obviously we had a 4th from Gemma as well. So.
And I think it's like in this country there's a big sort of romance around the middle distances. I think because of Cram and Vet in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then Kelly Holmes. It feels really good that we are getting back to the top of the world in the middle distances.
Yeah, 1,500 metres. The last time we had a British male medal was Peter Elliott in '88, so it's been a long time coming.
So yeah, well done team. And then we move on to the relays, which is Um, I was feeling a bit sad when the relays were happening. I was like, how are we at the end already? I feel like we've only just started, but
Yeah, lots to kind of dissect here, I think, isn't there, in the relays?
yeah,
I mean, the Americans did do the dream team that we all wanted, which was McLaughlin, Felix, Mohammed, and Moo, or Mo, however you say it. And as you can see from the splits there, I mean, Sydney, to be fair, actually wasn't leading when she passed over the baton. It was the Polish athlete on the first leg who must have run one of the quickest first legs ever. And what was her name? Is it Kazmarek? Yeah, same time, but she actually passed the baton first. And then it was Felix being kind of almost a weaker link in this, which is bizarre given she's one of the greatest relay runners of all time. And then Mohammed, a great third leg, and then that last leg from Mo was just like 48.3. I mean, wow.
Yeah. I mean, we were saying like when we were discussing it that Cornera Hayes must have been slightly fuming that she won the US trials and made the 400 final but still didn't make the team.
Yeah.
But I suppose that it came down to which US athlete did better in the 400 final, and that happened to be Felix, which meant that she probably got that relay space.
I mean, but then in hindsight, if you hate, you think, should I just run the heats and screwed over my chances in the individual? You don't know what to do. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Because the schedule ruined it for her, really. Poland, brilliant silver medal, national record, getting down to almost breaking the 320 barrier. Again, that is their strong team that they've been working on for years, and they all ran pretty solid splits there, as you can see.
Yeah, so they add a silver to. A few of these have been involved in the mixed relay. That won gold at the start of the championships a week ago.
Then open up the Jamaicans. Open up all the tabs. Because they had Cherokee Jackson in there, but she didn't run as well as I thought. Actually, they all look that none of them broke 50 in their splits, which is quite amazing, really, given how strong their team is. But it was enough for them to still get a bronze. But it was Canada that surprised, I think. I mean, again, Sage Watson, comfortably the slowest in that, apart from the first leg, slowest in that field, which is bizarre when you think how strong she is, being in their relay team for a while. But they were very close to getting that bronze, and if you look at the British team, had we reordered it, maybe done a few things differently, I definitely think we could have got a medal.
Yeah, I think this was definitely the wrong order.
I mean, Emma did not get off to a great start, whereas Emily ran a 51.5 yesterday on the first leg, so that's already almost saved us a second.
Well, I think Emma spent too much, and the first half of her leg looked incredible, and it's like, oh, she's really up there. And then she would just, as it came into the changeover, it was flailing and it was just sort of a race to get that baton into the hand of the next runner.
Especially being a lane 9, you've got that extra little bit when you cross what would be the finish line. You've still got a long way to go to pass the baton. So I think that kind of caught her out. And then again, Jodie with a 49.4 with one of the fastest splits in the whole race, really, similar to Alison Felix. And then she should have been on anchor. Personally, I think if we were a bit nearer, maybe. She might have got a little bit more excited and dragged herself to getting close to the medals. Emily again, solid leg, and Nicole solid again. I mean, she did make up a bit of ground on that last leg, but yeah, I'd have swapped that all around.
Yeah, I would have had Jodie on anchor. I think I would have had Nicole Jurgen on the penultimate leg to sort of, because I think she could do well enough to get Jodie into a solid position.
Yeah, I agree.
And then
I'd have put Emily on first, and maybe Amber obviously still a bit. I don't want to say untested, but this is her first kind of major champs. And she did well in the individual. She made the semis, but would Zoe Clark still have done a better job? Or Olavia Nielsen? I don't know. Who knows? It's tough. And then just look at the Dutch, because I want to see their
national record.
I say their national record.
Femke's national record.
A 48.9 for that anchor.
The others were just there.
I mean, to be fair, Clara did actually run a pretty good opening leg.
Actually, that's quite, given that she normally just takes it out too fast and ends up dying at the end of the leg. And
then a national record for Belgium. I just want to again flag up their hurdler, isn't it? Is it Revert? Was she their hurdler? I can't remember. No, was she? I can't remember which one was the hurdler. Was it Kofkus?
I think it might be.
Yeah, one of them. But either way, I mean, they were rapid times at 50.09 for her. And this is without Berlingo and Bongo, who would have easily have been, dragging them up the field.
Yeah.
But then it was a different story for the Belgian men.
Yeah, it was. I think can they finally get a medal? Yeah. Can they, their sisters got a medal?
Their boys basically hung on. Well, Jonathan and Kevin did. Obviously, Jonathan wasn't here, but they basically hung on for these Olympics to try and get that medal, and they were fourth again, same as in Rio, and it's devastating. I mean, Sakura ran a 44.0. Dylan maybe was he was a little bit slow, but again, Kevin still was a 44.1. It's such a shame because they weren't far off in the end actually, which was a shame.
National record just before we get to the actual medalist, national record for Italy, another part of their strong year. They may have been, they only do gold or nothing.
Yeah, actually Scotty was a little bit disappointed in that compared to his other teammates. And then I guess it's Botswana, Netherlands, who had a great fight for silver because the gold was gone.
Yeah,
I mean that team was still pretty solid, and I didn't realise that Bryce Deadman actually ran such a good leg, 44.0.
Yeah, it was sort of when it came out, it was like, oh well, look at these names, and Deadman apparently.
I was like, who's he? But no, Ryan Benjamin with that 43. What was he? 43.8 he ran. He what was he run? Sorry.
Sorry. I'm clicking on the
43.4. Sorry, 43.4. One of the fastest splits of the whole race. I mean, actually, look at the Dutch guy in the second leg, 43.7.
Wow.
My God. So they had a great race to get that medal. I mean, and Mccolgan's first leg, 43.8. Let's mention that on the opening leg. That was one of the fastest opening legs ever.
Wow, that's incredible.
But pleased to see the Dutch and Botswana get on the medals. It's not normally them on the 4x4. It's usually the Jamaicans or the Trinidad, or Bahamas who are in the mix. So get some new countries in there.
Yeah. Just sticking in the chat, Andrew saying after Rio, Polish 4x400 female team was on podium at every championships, indoor and outdoor.
Yeah,
that's I mean, that shows how incredibly consistent they've become.
Yeah, I think it's very similar actually to the British women's 4x1 team after London when we didn't make the Olympics. Been on the podium at every World Championships except Beijing when we were fourth and just narrowly missed out. So it again shows how sometimes you can just turn it around if you put a bit of money and effort into it.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting. Can the Polish sort of maintain that? Because that's an incredible sort of.
Well, they've got a strong team. I mean, I think they've tried to peak for this. I think they've obviously put their eggs into this relay basket for a lot of the individual runners, and it's worked out for them.
Yeah. And that was the final track action of Tokyo 2020. We still have a men's marathon to look forward to.
Yeah, we'll be hanging on and watching. I'll be watching that and like, come on, this is it. This is the end.
Probably is it holding back the tears?
Yeah, I mean, especially with Eliud Kipchoge in it. Obviously Callum Hawkins, 6th in Rio, 4th at the last 2 World Championships. Fingers crossed he can be close to the medals, and all the big names in there as well. And obviously, I'm just delighted to see Chris Thompson will be running in the Olympics after that amazing win at the British Trials.
And then, so away from athletics, I think one of my highlights of the day was the modern pentathlon.
Again, a great event, great sport. One of my faves. To be honest, I even watch the World Cups of these events. To be honest, it's one of my favourite sports.
And it was great. It puts it in a weird order that way. But it was great to see that after. I mean, Joe Chung was leading for a long way. I think after the swim.
Well, he won the fencing, didn't he? The ranking round.
So he was leading
yesterday or 2 days ago, and then the swimming, he was like 3rd in his heat, but it was still
the fastest
time.
Heat, and I think he was leading throughout then from.
Yeah, and then he obviously the fencing ranking round. I mean, the winner stays on thing. He was obviously last to go and won it. So. Yeah. He had a big lead then going into the laser run. Obviously, the show jumping, he knocked one fence off. No, two fences. That's right. Jamie got one and he got 2.
There was enough to keep him in contention. There were no big disasters in the show jumping like yesterday.
No, he had a 12-second lead, and then got a bit close at times, but he got an Olympic record there. And I thought he'd saved enough in the sprint because it was like. Ahmed Al-Gendi came from 13th all the way up to my mate, my mate from the World Open Games who helped me and who showed me how to do laser run. I knew he was good at it because he told me he can do his shots in under 4 seconds. I think his best was all 5 of them, and then he's a very quick runner as well. So I knew he was coming into this in great form because he got bronze at the World Champs and then went on to win the World Juniors, all in Cairo actually, his home champ. So he was coming into this in great form. And he was a great runner. Got himself way up into, just steamed past everyone else. And then I was like, oh no, he's going to go past Joe. But Joe just tucked in behind him. And I thought Joe still saved a bit here, hasn't he, for the end, for that final sprint.
And Korean Jun Wung Tae in 3rd. So actually, the 3 medalists from 3 different continents. So modern pentathlon is always something that's always having a bit of nerves regarding its sort of inclusion in the Olympics. I think it's something that the IOC sort of keep in have often, it's been sort of romanticism for it because it was created by the founder of the Olympics. That's been what's helped it hold on. But I think if they say, look, we've got three medalists from 3 different continents, it is an exciting sport that people do want to see at the Olympics. Hopefully it will be able to maintain its place there.
Yeah, no, and it was good competition. I mean, I think was James Cook in 9th, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, he did well.
At one point, he looked to be really moving up the field in the laser run.
Yeah, he was up to 7th at one point, I think. Maybe top 6, or was he even 5th, I think. But yeah, obviously, I think it changes. Obviously, because even though you're overtaking people, you're then also being overtaken by other people as well. So.
And yeah, it was good to see that. Yeah, Jochen could hold on to the medals where he couldn't in Rio.
Yes, so. he was silver going into Rio laser run and messed it up.
And that's actually our first ever male modern pentathlon gold medal. Well, individual gold medal. We won a team gold medal in 1976. Because the Soviets were cheating.
A double gold and 2 Olympic records, I think, as well for both him and Kate French.
So yeah, great showing on that front for Britain. We probably don't talk much about rhythmic gymnastics, but our friend Bev, who is very big on it, was telling us about how there's a big upset in that she's been talking all week about the Russian twins, which are Dina Averina and Arina Averina, and she was saying that they're going to be 1-2. It's just which way round will it be? And then shockingly, no, the gold medal went to Linoy Ashram of Israel, which huge a huge upset on that front. And also, quite interesting that she is Israeli born. A lot of Israel have been getting better at sports, but a lot of them have been coming from, they would have been born in Ukraine or Russia. And no, she was born in Israel. She's come up through the Israeli system. So I think that's quite an amazing achievement there.
That's very close. Looking at the score, she only won it by 0.150.
Yeah.
And Bev was like, I wonder what happened to the other Russian. And it looks like it was the ribbon. She went down. She obviously was a 10th in the ribbon. I'm assuming she dropped it.
Must have done.
We're just talking about global sports. You're looking at this and you're thinking it's not that global with Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, and Israel.
It's
very Eastern European area, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say that's all European, but even then it's very focused. It's only Israel and Italy who aren't in that post-Warsaw Pact bloc.
So that's the rhythmic gymnastics. That's all we know about rhythmic.
That's what we know, but it's worth mentioning. It's a gold medal that was expected to go to Russian Olympic Committee and did not.
Yes, which helps us with the medals table a little bit, which we'll come to at the end.
Yeah, just looking at some finals here, we've had the women's gold in the water polo going to the USA. I think that continues a long-held dominance for them in the women's event. Wrestling I know nothing about.
Lots of wrestling going on.
Lots of gold for Japan.
Have you had any Mongolia? Oh, they didn't get a bronze. Sad times. I think I randomly predicted a Kyrgyzstan gold medal in this, but I don't know if that's happened yet. Probably not.
And another Indian medal. They're having one of their best Olympic days ever, presumably, if that's 2 medals in a day. Karate, I don't really know much about.
No, I haven't even seen any of the karate yet, and it's the last day.
Yeah, I saw a bit of it. It was okay, but then you've got both the Kumite, which is the more combat one, and the kata, which is seems a bit odd to me, but what do I know?
And then
so yeah, I was just looking at it. I mean, I would have expected lots of Japanese medals in this, but no, it's been
lots of Saudi Arabian,
Egypt, much more Middle Eastern.
Yeah, we're learning lots about all these sports now.
Yeah.
Handball, has that been decided? Men's handball?
Yeah, France won the gold quite narrowly against Denmark. I thought handball was higher scoring than that, maybe.
And then Spain beating Egypt for the bronze. Golf was decided. Nelly Corda, so with dominant winning anyway. So, yeah, she's won the gold. Good to carry on her incredible year. Obviously, her father was a Grand Slam tennis champion. And yeah, Japanese silver again, great for the hosts. And Lydia Ko from New Zealand, one of the most dominant golfers in the last decade, getting the bronze, which was nice.
And then in the football,
yeah, this went to extra time last time I checked.
I haven't seen. I presume it's over now. And yeah, Brazil have defended their Olympic title.
Yeah, 2-1. It must have been an extra time goal then, I guess, that they won at 108 minutes. They got the winner. So good work, Brazil. Defended your title. Took you 116 years for them to win the They got Olympic gold, and then they've done 2 in a row. So.
And I mean, they'd been in the final a lot before that. It was,
They just lost.
Yeah. The team jumping, it wasn't. Britain had won medals in every other Olympic equestrian discipline, but it wasn't to be in the team jumping. I don't know why it's showing up like that.
Was it medals and ranking? Click on that.
What am I looking below? Britain were all
dear.
in last. I think Ben Mayer had to retire, and I think the other riders picked up a fair few faults. So not a wonderful showing, but I'm quite glad to see that Sweden got the gold medal there. They'd qualified all three riders to the jump off in the individual, so it's good to see that they've all got gold there. And I believe Jessica Springsteen getting part of the silver medal team for the USA.
Wow,
so
Bruce Springsteen's daughter is an Olympic medalist. What?
And Belgium with the bronze there.
Oh, I'd rather it was a Borlée bronze.
Just pretend one of the horses is called Borlée or something.
Right, I was awake at 7 o'clock to watch the diving because Tom Daley qualified pretty well. I think he was in 4th to qualify for the final, but he really stepped it up for the final. It was very exciting.
Yeah, I was sort of not fully awake for this. It was on in the background, but I was sitting up in bed isn't something I do well.
He was leading at the halfway point.
I was going to say I seem to remember him leading.
And it was his 4th dive that he just kind of over-rotated slightly. It was a marginal thing to it, but yeah, it was enough to knock him out of the contention for the gold, but he was still way ahead of everybody else, so it was guaranteed medal pretty much, unless he had a shocker. But yeah, he did well to begin with, but then once the harder dives came in, obviously the Chinese were doing crazy. 4.1 was for that last dive that the silver medalist did. It was crazy. But no, it was always going to be, we said, a 1-2 for China, and they did it. And yeah, but Tom's got his 4th Olympic medal, so that's now 1 gold and 3 bronzes he's had in his career. Yeah,
and it's great for him that he's where was I going with this? Oh yeah, that he I had a point and I've lost it. You talk, Chris.
Yeah, he's not done yet though. He seems to hint that he might maybe carry on to Paris, given it's only 3 years away. I think he was maybe thinking of hanging up his trunks, as they say. But he said 2018 was his low year, and he said no, he still feels like he's improving. So he said he still feels like he's on the way up, and with the inclusion of a mixed event, maybe on the cards in Paris, and he's multiple world champion in the mix with I think with Lois Tolson maybe, or Grace Reed. No, Grace Reed, that's what it is. So that would be great if they could enter that, and that would be a 3rd discipline that he's won a medal in if he does that in Paris.
Yeah. And the point that I had was also that he had a bit of a mare in Rio in the individual, so it's great that he's able to come back from that, get to a bronze again like he was in London. So he's had that recovery, and he did the firework dive, which is the one that he's had lots of anxiety over, and he was able to perform that really well.
Yeah, no, like you say, Rio was when he set the Olympic record in the prelims and then crashed out in the semis. So he didn't do that today. I had a shaky prelims, okay semi, and then a brilliant final. So that's the way it should be.
Yeah, and then what? Cycling.
Yeah, cycling happened today.
There was only one set of medals decided, which was in the Madison. More competitive Madison than the women's one.
Yes, very, very exciting actually.
It was going back and forth. Britain were in the lead for a period, then we were back in 3rd. And
they looked like we might be going to 4th. It was like, oh my god, they need to do something.
And they did a hell of a last lap.
The last 10, once they had that final sprint and it's 10 laps to go, they went for it, and they ended up not just only securing the bronze, they ended up getting a silver, and almost winning.
Yeah.
I think the Danes just had enough points from the penultimate sprint that kind of got them over the line.
And then another Olympic gold medal for Lasse Hansen. He's was he 2-time Omnium champion, or was it just London?
I can't remember. I feel like he's won a lot anyway.
Yeah, he definitely won in London. I think he won in Rio ahead of Mark Cavendish.
I feel like you're right. So
yeah, he's got another one to add to his collection.
Another medal for Matt Walls. Obviously, first one for Ethan Hayter.
And
French got the bronze.
Yeah. Well done, France.
And then I guess just in terms of the other events that went on today, Katie Marchant lost her quarter-final in the women's sprint, so she will not be winning a medal at these games, unfortunately, after she crashed out the Kieran. So
yeah, I think she had a bit of a tough draw against
definitely the toughest of the quarter-finals, I'd say.
Then we have we had the Kieran, which
Yes.
Jason Kenny managed to get through his repechage after being a bit shaky in the earlier rounds.
Yes, he did very well in his repechage race.
Uh,
And then and obviously Jack Carlin had gone through already, hadn't he?
yeah, he didn't need to bother with the repechages. I can't find the thing, but yeah. So there's two medal chances there for Britain. Of course, the Kieran is so unpredictable that anything could happen, really.
Yeah, no, I think we'll just wait because that's obviously happening tomorrow, as is the women's Omnium.
And they're on a bit earlier than usual, so they can get. Well, I would say so they could get to Tokyo for the closing ceremony. I'm not sure if they will be doing that actually.
I think they just like to have everything wrapped up earlier, don't they? I guess.
Yeah, it was probably scheduled for a time where they thought they might have been able to make the closing ceremony.
But yeah, so yeah, men's Kieran finals tomorrow and the women's Omnium as well. So Laura Kenny going for another medal.
Can she? Wow. If she gets another gold, and that will draw her level with what Jason Kenny already has in terms of gold medals.
Yeah.
So maybe some marital rivalry going on there.
Not impossible. Is that everything we've done today?
I think so. ROC gold in the synchronized swimming. That's not surprising.
Well, it's just good. We had a basketball gold. The dream team.
But
Well, I said the dream team. The USA basically won
that's baseball.
the basketball, beating France there, and then Australia won the bronze. And yeah, beach volleyball, has that been decided as well? Yeah, who won? Yeah, wasn't there Norway? That's right. They won their first ever men's beach volleyball gold, I think it was.
And athletes from Qatar won the bronze medal. They're actually both born in West Africa, I think different countries, but I was sort of interested. I did read their thing, sort of saying how they're happy to represent Qatar because they wouldn't be able to compete at this level if they were representing their countries of birth.
And just scroll down a little bit more for a British gold medal.
Yay! We finally got that gold in the boxing that we were.
And I said he was going to win a few days ago, didn't I? I think our best chance of a gold is Galal Yafai, and he won it quite comfortably in the end. And we've still got another chance tomorrow. Was it, what's her name? Lauren Price? Is that her name?
It
Have
might
I made
be.
that up? Yeah, last. So that's it really. Medals for Britain that maybe we might get will be cycling and boxing over the next 24 hours.
Yeah.
Or 12 hours.
We'll need that if we want to overtake the Russian Olympic Committee once again, because they've had their. They've had rhythmic gymnastics, which didn't go well for them, but they've got the synchronized swimming, and Maria Lasitskene's gold as well helped them on the medal table, which means that they are ahead of us in terms of silver medals. We're both on 20 golds, so it'll be last dash for who can get those golds.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting actually. I don't know what. We'll just go to the schedule again. Actually, let's have a look for tomorrow. I want to see if there are any other finals that they can beat us in. I should go to Sunday. What? Cause I don't know what. There's not obviously that much on tomorrow, so I don't know what else they can beat us in.
So we've got.
So we've got Lauren Price there in the boxing.
And Ireland have a gold medal chance there as well.
Yeah, we must mention that.
So if they do, that would be their second gold medal of these games.
Yeah, and then obviously we mentioned the cycling. I mean, I don't think they'll be winning anything in the sprint or the Omnium.
Wouldn't
or the
think
Kieran,
so, but they are a reasonably decent.
Oh, they're in the gold medal match of the handball for the women.
Come on, France!
And obviously they're going to win the rhythmic gymnastics, so let's not even bother looking at that.
Yeah.
And
volleyball was safe on that front.
And nothing in the water polo. In fact, Hungary are only in the bronze match. Interesting.
Oh, Greece and
Greece,
Serbia.
yeah, good stuff.
So
Well, there we go. So we might be okay if we can win our boxing and a couple of cycling golds.
So that's the medal
Or
table.
any of them.
But even so, we've got a guaranteed medal in the boxing regardless, so that'll bring us to 64 medals. I think it's 65 medals. That was the London tally.
Yeah.
67 was Rio. So although we don't have as many golds as either of them, it's actually been like a low-key really good games for Britain.
Yeah, definitely. Like you say, I think we can maybe finish with a few more. So yeah, that's the penultimate day.
And that's the penultimate day. Don't want it to end.
But we'll end this stream now anyway, so
Yeah.
you can get some. Well, if you want to get some sleep, I don't know, because the marathon will be on in 7 hours.
And then pretty much straight after that, it's track
straight into the
cycling.
cycling, and then a little bit of a snooze if you want to watch the boxing, which is on about 7, I think. So, and then closing ceremony at midday.
Yeah. We have no idea how we're going to stream tomorrow. We've got some travelling to do in the meantime, so we have no idea what our movements are. But hopefully we'll be able to do something.
Yes, we'll let you know. All right, thanks for watching.
See you all soon.
Bye.